Okay, so let me say it one more time. If you want to, you can use this video if you want to review for the test also. Sound good? So our learning target today is I can use statistics to solve problems. We're going to do good things, word of the day, talk about the week, and prepare for our statistics test on Thursday. So like I said before, just so the twins can hear this, we're going to do a bunch of statistics review today and maybe bleed over in tomorrow. Wednesday is the test. Thursday is the test. My bad. And all that. Okay, so before we get started today, good things and everything. I already saw that Esme and I can't remember. It was Chris, I think. There's a page in there that says notes on the video, right? Don't worry about that. Okay. Is there anything else on the homework? Is the homework going to be? I'm not trying to overwhelm you with a ton of homework. Is it realistic to have that homework assignment done and ready for tomorrow if you put a moderately amount of effort into it? What do you think? Okay. Sophia.
On page 27 of our homework, it says like a note-taking guide to the video. Sorry.
Yeah, don't do that. Anybody else? Okay. So yeah, don't do that. Yep. So I'm expecting it to be done first thing tomorrow then. Sound good? If there is something crazy and you cannot do it, have a private conversation with me. This is a geometry class, okay? Geometry is based on reason. I am a reasonable person. So if you come up to me and you come up with a reasonable argument and you make a deal with me, we can talk about it. But tomorrow is too late. So you need to have that private conversation with me, probably 7th period or something, and ask me, you can talk to me about why you're not going to be able to have this done. Okay, I'm really not trying to overwhelm you with everything. So I've tried to give you a heads up. I'm trying to give you a heads up with this. So let me know. Have that private conversation with me, and we can talk reasonably about making it work for you. Okay, sound good, guys? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. We're going to do good things, word of the day. We talked about the week already, and then I'll redo the video. I'll start the video again once we start preparing for the quiz, all right, or the test. So let me go ahead and pause Screencastify. That's okay. So the statistics test is going to have two kinds of parts. There's going to be a non-calculator portion and a calculator portion. Now, I am not going to be the calculator police. The way I can tell if you're not using a calculator is by showing your work. So on the non-calculator portion, you must turn in work to me. If you do not turn in work to me, if you don't show me how you're doing the calculations, even if you are a genius and can do them in your head, you still have to write them down and show me what you're doing. You guys understand that? Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at what we're doing today. All right, let me unfreeze this, sorry. All right, so preparing for our statistics test, the non-calculator portion. This test will require you to perform, I should say, to do. I'll just say to do calculations, basics of calculation required to do. Calculate basic statistics using a small set of data. So the key here is I'm going to make a small set of data. So I think that data is most interesting when it comes from you. Unfortunately, on the test, I don't think I can collect data, but on the study guide, I can. So here's what I want you guys to do. Now, I'm only going to randomly choose 7 kids, and that's why I have the sticks, because I'm going to completely randomly choose them. All right, so here's the deal. Since you have been at Jenkins, count the number of classes where you feel you grew as a student. Okay, so do you guys understand what I'm saying? Not physically grown, like you grew inches, but I'm saying you actually learned something. You felt like you got something out of the class. It was something that maybe even if you didn't enjoy it, you still learned something. Okay, you increased your knowledge, your achievement. You're smarter after taking the class. So I want you to go all the way through 6th grade or whenever you start at Jenkins, and I want you to count every class where you feel like you grew as a student, okay? Can be elective classes, could be wherever, okay? Could be band, choir. Did you get better at singing, math, English, language arts, social studies? Did you learn? So right now I want you to calculate. Do not tell me the teachers' names. I don't want to hear all the bad teachers you don't like. But all I want is a number. Okay? And that can include this year. Okay? You're able to make the call this year. Again, I don't want to even know the class names. I don't want to know the teachers' names. I just want a quantitative number that tells me how many courses that you feel you grew in this year. Okay? So I'm going to randomly pull sticks here, and these students are going to just tell me how many courses they feel like they've grown as a student at Jenkins. Eliana.
4.
4? 4 or 5? Which one? 5. So Eliana's going to say 5. Everyone write that down. Student number 1 is 5. If you don't want to write the word down, student number 1, you could just say 5. That's fine. Okay. All right. The next one is going to be Brady. How many? What? 18. Okay. All right. That's good. All right. Next one is Dakota's not here. Sam. 3. Okay. All right. You guys are a tough crowd. Kaylee. 15. Okay. Let's go with Rachel. What? 4. Okay. All right. Let's go with Tegan. 0. Okay. Tough crowd. All right. Caitlin. 5. Okay. So your guys, now your job. So you guys have this data written down? Okay. So 5, 18, 3, 15, 4, 0, and 5. So your job is to complete this, and you can do this with a partner. Mean, median, mode, range, 5-number summary, IQR, standard deviation, and a box plot. Yep. Okay. Yep. Let me do this. I'm going to do this. Okay, you guys ready? So this will be the first portion of your test. Okay, it's a non-calculator portion, small set of data. Your job is to do the mean, median, mode. Now, I will let you use a calculator on the standard deviation just to crunch the numbers. Okay, you understand that? But you may not use decimals. You guys understand that? So you may not use decimals. You can't just put it into a table and have it calculate for you. You have to show me. If you want to use a calculator to take the square roots, that's fine. But you may not use decimals. You guys understand that? Okay, so I'm going to, if you want to work with a partner on this, that's fine. I don't know how long this is going to take, but I would like to go over it here. Okay, sound good? Now, if you're working with a partner and you guys are dividing it up, guys, why, you guys? If you're dividing it up, be careful because you need to know how to do all this on your own because you can't divide it up on the test. Okay? So, all right, go and get to work. The only reason I would want you to use a calculator is to take square roots on the standard deviation. That's it. Sound good? Range, it's range. Sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video so this doesn't get too long, and we'll come back with some numbers. So if you guys are at home, go ahead and do this on your own and see how you do. And you should be doing it without a calculator. So this is not an open note test, but because I'm a kind person, you get 1 note card. So as small as you want to write on the front and the back, it's got to be a 3x5 note card. I'm going to pass it out. So if you forgot like the standard deviation formula, you probably want to put it on your note card. This is what you can have on the test as a note card. Sound good, guys? All right, so I'm going to pass these out. So you might want to start to make your note card for the test also. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Wyatt, do you have a question?
For me, we round to the nearest.
Tenths, round to the term. Sorry. Okay, to catch us up, the mean was 7.1, the median was 5, the mode was 5, the range was 18, and there's our 5-number summary over here. Martin, what is your IQR?
12.
And how did you get the IQR, Martin?
Because I took the number, which is the left side of the box.
The Q3?
Yeah, and I used the right side of the box and subtracted the left side of the box from the right side of the box.
Okay, so Q3 minus Q1, and what'd you get?
I got 12.
Equals 12. Good job, Martin. Okay, here's where it gets a little interesting. Standard deviation. Wyatt, what'd you guys get for standard deviation?
We'll get back to you on that very soon.
Okay. Who did get a standard deviation? Okay, Rachel, what'd you guys get?
6.2.
Okay, raise your hand if you think 6.2. Math by democracy. Okay, now, here's the deal. Guys, what do you notice about a standard deviation of 6.2? It's very, very, very spread out. You guys understand that? Okay. Normally, we like our standard deviation to be in the 1 to 2 range. Very spread out. Okay? A box plot. So if we're doing a box plot, you can see it's going to be very spread out. Is it symmetrical, your box plot, guys?
No.
Okay, is it skewed to the left or is it skewed to the right?
Right.
It's skewed right. We got that long tail on the right. You guys understand that? Okay, so here's my question. We've kind of got some statistics, so here's what I want to ask you guys. And this will probably be on the quiz, a test like this. So what will happen is, what I want to do is just have like brainless math here. Okay, can you do the brainless math? Just right from your note card. You have the formulas, mean, median, modes, 5-number summary, standard deviation, box plot, blah, 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 blah. Then the last thing I want you to do is make a conclusion. So what can you tell me through the statistics about students' views of, growing in their classes at Jenkins? So that would be an essay question on the test. And you have to use supporting data to make your argument. You guys understand what I'm saying? So now the last part of this question would be, what can you conclude about how students feel they've grown in classes at Jenkins? And you can't just say they feel like they did good or whatever. You have to use you have to use this data and these calculations to make your point. So, Test, were you raising your hand?
I didn't get a note card.
Oh, you didn't get a note card. Okay, so let me pull a stick here. And I want to have this student kind of just, Xavier, can you please just kind of talk to us about what you think students at Jenkins feel about their classes?
Overall, I think most people haven't necessarily learned a lot.
Why would you say that?
Because, well, the max possible classes you could have would be 21.
Yep.
And most of them were under 10.
Most were under 10, right? And so you're saying that you're noticing just the max. And then what part of the mean, median, mode, range, 5-number summary, IQR, standard deviation, or box plot, what really stuck out with you in that?
The standard deviation.
And why would you say that?
Because it just shows that everything's very spread out from the median.
Right. And why do you think it's really spread out? Now this is more of like a non-math question. Why do you think that it's so spread out? Why is the standard deviation so high?
I think because some people may have said that they learned more than others.
Right. Okay. It varies a lot. It's really interesting. We had one student 18, another student 0. So it's a really big diversity in our range, right? Okay. So if Mr. Joyner saw this data, what would you do if you're Mr. Joyner and you saw this data? Let's see here. Kaylee, what would you do if you're Mr. Joyner and you saw this data?
I'd look at Tegan and ask her why. She has to
Well, what if I just didn't give any names?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, the data is very diverse and it's very spread out. So that means that some students feel like they're learning more in certain classes rather than other students that feel like they're not learning as much.
Okay.
And so if I was the principal, I would like wonder, well, what makes this classroom different for this student versus this other
Yeah,
student?
that's a really good question. Okay, that's a really good question. Okay, and here's the thing. Jenkins is low on numbers right now with students. We're trying to get as many students as we can. So Mr. Joyner is going to want to know your opinion, right? So good, excellent. Okay, perfect, great. Okay, so we did that. Okay, central question. We already. Which measure of central tendency should we use? Explain your thinking. Let's see here. From this data, Caitlin, what do you think? Okay, so central tendency is either mean, median, or mode. What? The median. And why would we want to use the median, Caitlin? Because it's skewed. It's skewed to the right. Whenever your graph is skewed, you want to use the median, right? Which measure of dispersion should you use? Explain your thinking. Okay. Rachel. Dispersion is either 5-number summary or standard deviation. 5-number summary. Why? It's skewed. Right. Good. All right. Okay, here's a good problem. Write this down. I'm going to definitely put a problem like this on the test. Okay? Definitely. Now, we've not seen this, so pay attention. Write this down. So here's the deal. This problem is saying, okay, the mean is 6. What is the missing piece of data? Okay? So you guys see what we're doing here. So here, this is not calculating the mean. This is finding a missing piece of data. Now, some of you guys can do this in your head. Probably not, though. So if I wanted to figure out what this missing piece of data is, a lot of times a problem like this is really helpful when I have students come to me and say, Mr. Roden, I have a B in your class. What do I need to get on the next test to get an A? Well, first of all, I want to say, do you really think I can do that calculation in my head right here? Or I have another student who says, it kind of makes me giggle when they say this, Mr. Roden, I have an F in your class. If I get a good grade on the test, will it help my grade? Yeah, it will help your grade. If you do well on the test, it will help your grade. Yeah. So, Mr. Roden, if I get an A on the test, is that good for my grade? Yeah, that's good for your grade. Okay, yeah. Okay, anyways, so how would we do this? Now, think about what the mean is, okay? So, the mean, guys, is taking all of your data. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of data. So we're going to take x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 plus x5. How many pieces did I say?
6.
Plus x6. We're going to divide that by 6, right? Because there's 6 pieces of data. And we know that answer is actually 6. You guys see that? Questions? So now we can just replace. So here's what I want you guys to do. Please go ahead and add. Well, let's add up this sum total right here. What is x1 through x5? So you're just adding up 2, 8, 9, 7, 6. Martin, what do you get?
32.
You guys agree with 32? So now we have 32 plus x equals divided by 6 equals 6, right, class? So what would we do next to solve for x? This is just simple algebra now.
Multiply both sides by 6.
Yeah, Sophia, I think that's a great idea. Let's do a fraction eliminator. Let's multiply both sides by 6. Y'all see that? So when we multiply both sides by 6, the 6's cancel out on the left side. So we get 32 plus x equals what, 36? You guys see that? And then what are we going to do next to solve for x, class? Subtract 32 from both sides. So we get x equals what? X equals 4. Okay? So, I have a question for you. Okay. You may use a calculator on this. So let's say that we have student number 8. Okay? Student number 8. and we don't know what they answered, but we know when student number 8 answers, the mean goes down to 7.0. Okay? So I want to know, so student number 8 answered the question. When student number 8 answered the question, the mean went down to 7. Your job, ladies and gentlemen, is to figure out what did student number 8 answer the question as. Okay, see what I'm saying? So go back, let's apply it to what we just learned here. Student number 8 answered the question. We don't know what they said, but we know it affected the mean by bringing it down to 7. Okay, so what did student number 8 answer? Okay, go ahead and figure that out really quick. Let's go with Caitlin. How long do you think I should give the kids to figure that out? 10 minutes? That's way too long. You can use a calculator. How about 3? How about 3? 3 minutes. Go. So use what we just did, that concept we just did. And your job is to figure out what did student number 8 answer if it brought the mean down to 7. So I think what we'll do today, class, is we'll work just on the non-calculator portion of the test. Tomorrow we'll focus on the calculator portion. Sound good? The Desmos portion. Okay? Sound good? It should be a pretty quick calculation. So, guys, when we sum up the data, what do we get? We know we got 50, right? Plus some x value, right? Divided by 8 is equal to what, class? 7, right? See that? Okay. So what would we do next if we were going to figure this out? What would we do next, guys? Multiply both sides by 8, right? See that? Okay, if we multiply both sides by 8, 8's cancel, so we get 50 plus x equals 7 times 8. That's 56, right? And then what would you do next? Subtract 50 from both sides. Caitlin, why would we need 10 minutes for that? That's crazy. All right, so what's the answer, class? Answer 6. Okay. See that? Okay, does that make sense, guys? Cool. All right. All right. Got that. Okay. A survey asked people how many hours they spend online per day. The results are shown in the table. Display the data in a histogram. Describe the shape of your data. All right, guys, could you please quickly make a quick little sketch of a histogram of this data? Okay, so this is a histogram. Now the nice thing is they have it already. They have the what do you call them? What do you call the bars in a histogram? The bins. They have the bins set up for you. So should be pretty simple. So now your job is to just make a quick histogram, and then we're going to look at the shape of the distribution. Okay? Shouldn't be anything terrible. Oh my. Ooh, someone's dying out there, guys. I'm not sure if that was a bird or what.
Chris.
So we have to go all the way to.
Why would you add it? Where did you get that? Thank you.
Okay, you guys get something that looks like this, maybe? Okay, not perfect, right? So, guys, what's the shape of this distribution, guys? It's skewed right. Okay, see that? Definitely skewed right.
Yeah, but these are really.
Okay, guys, let's call it good for now. Tomorrow we'll go into the non-calculator portion. Oh, excuse me, the yes calculator Desmos portion. There are a few other little things I want to show you on Desmos, like how to make a histogram, reviewing box and whiskers on Desmos, all that. So we'll be able to use that on the test. All right, we're going to have Rachel rate us here in a minute on our listening, and we'll decide where to go from there. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and stop this and